Welcome aboard to podcast 23 in the series of the Voyage to back Yonder. As our ship pulled out of port to begin our voyage to back Yonder, loved ones stood on the dock waving cheers of encouragement for our journey, and the words, "I'll miss you," escaped from our mouths. Standing by ourselves on the deck of our ship, those words echo across the bow and bounce back to us for reflection. Why do I say that phrase, "I will miss you," or tell someone I miss you? Maybe for some of us, they're just words of departure without much attachment, like, "Hi, how are you?" has become. Most people don't really want to know how someone's doing. It's just polite to pretend to want to know. But part of our journey is to understand our emotions. And a big part of our ability to reflect on our beliefs about ourselves and life is to examine those words that come out of our mouths. Or these days, the words that come out of our fingers into a text, a posting, an email, a message, or maybe even a written card to someone. Reflecting back on my own life, those phrases of missing someone came up in a few different ways. Whenever someone didn't show up for an event I had invited them to, or had to cancel last minute or anything like that, those words, "I missed you," flowed out toward that person. What was I trying to accomplish by stating that? Maybe in some situations, it was to subtly communicate to that person that they disappointed me and weren't being the person I wanted them to be. Or, "I want more of your attention." Or, "I'm less without you." And sometimes, "I'm sad because of you. You let me down." In other situations, maybe it was my fear ego trying to make other people feel better by communicating to them that they were needed or wanted. I used to have a huge codependency in relationships and friendships with a loud need to be needed by someone else. So it was normal for me to want to be a hero and come to their rescue, letting other people know that my life would be darker without them so that they would need me in their lives to make them happy. But then, when I was exhausted and they needed me, I would become resentful that they needed me and were wanting my energy to make them feel better. Codependency, what a wonderful game it is. Need me, but just enough. Oh, and that level changes by the moment, depending on what mood I'm in. Kaboom. Other times, saying "I miss you" to someone was a statement hoping the other person would validate me by saying the same thing back to me. But are we really happy when they do reply the same thing? Why do I always have to say it first? Oh, the fun. Can we really miss anyone or anything anyway? I suppose when we're in our fear ego of conditional love, we're experiencing what it might feel like to be less. So we might feel like we're missing someone or something when some of our conditional love laws are not being met. Those laws that require certain situations to be happening, certain people to be in our lives, performing certain actions in a certain way. But wow, when one of those things is out of alignment, fear just blows in and that whole house of cards just comes crashing down, don't it? Everything I've mentioned about missing someone seems like it's external validation, attempting to feel secure in conditional love, looking outward for that choose me, love me. But all those external creations are designed to disappoint me, to turn me back inward. I can never be enough for someone else. I can only be enough for myself. Everything external is for our deepest experience of understanding who we are. It's imaginary. It's imagery. An image on the screen of our mind, a made-up story, a movie playing on a white screen in our head. It isn't real. Reality waits for us to wake up from this dream. And sometimes it can even hit us while we're in the dream, and we realize all this stuff out here is make-believe. And that's when we can choose to fly and do the unthinkable. So, as I reflect on the words, I miss you, they now become a reminder that nothing is missing. I am complete, whole, and a powerful, eternal, supernatural spirit being made from unconditional love. When someone says the words, I miss you, to me, I don't need to feel like I let them down or am not being enough. I get to let this be a flag for me to remember my wholeness and share unconditional love without feeling the fear of letting down someone else's expectations. They can be who they are on their journey of discovering themselves. I can be myself on my own journey, discovering that unconditional love within me. All that activity that's happening out there is just that. Actions. Clips from a giant movie that I can witness without becoming an emotional wreck. Unless that's what I want to experience in that moment. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can sit right there in the middle of the storm, watching the witch fly by on her broom, flying monkeys attack the banana tree, and all sorts of twists and turns in the plot of this movie called life. What an amazing drama. Till next episode, take some deep breaths. Maybe you can relate to some of my experiences that I talked about. Or maybe, upon your own reflection, you might find other motivations or intentions behind the words, I miss you. Take a few minutes to write down some of the situation where those words came from you, and some where those words came from others. How did you feel when you said those words? How did you feel when they were told to you? Within those emotions, see the ways which they impacted your worth. How do you feel about yourself when those words are said to you? How do you feel when they're not said to you. Our journey to freedom and peace is found in questioning the accusers of our worth. Those thoughts that keep whispering in your ear that no one would miss you if you were gone. Those are words of fear that are rattling your cage. They're rooted in a belief that other people's opinions and actions define who you are. Freedom comes as you realize that most people's actions and opinions are based on their own fears of being unworthy, and they're unstable. Freedom comes when you realize that you get to decide and determine your own worth, and no one else. Opinions come and go, but you, my dear, are forever. You are a powerful, eternal, supernatural spirit being made from unconditional love. And you are beginning to remember that. Enjoy your voyage. I love you.